World War I, the largest modern war at the time that involved all the major powers, was fought between the Allied powers and the Central Powers. The Allied powers consisted of many countries, but mainly Britain, France, Russia, and eventually the US, who were against Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. The war was fought on two major fronts, on both the east, facing Russia, and the west, in France, in addition to other areas of conflict. Several major battles occurred between both the Central and Allied powers during this period of war on these fronts.
The Battle of Tannenberg was fought between Russia and Germany on the Eastern Front near the beginning of the war, in August 1914. As it began, Russian troops led by Samsonov and Rennenkampf hoped to strike the Germans from both the front and the back. However, due to the Russians' military's inability to exercise this maneuver and a change of German command, Paul von Hindenburg authorized a more aggressive strategy and took advantage of the division of the Russian military. The German advantage grew as the Germans intercepted two transmissions between the two Russian generals. Samsonov was unaware that the other portion of the army was not in his intended position, as well as the Germans' plans against him. He believed the Germans were retreating, and Samsonov was assured that the other army would not march to his location. Hindenburg was able to attack Samsonov directly and encircled his forces, as the rest of the Russian military did not aid them. As a result, only around 10,000 Russians escaped the battle out of the 150,000 involved. 30,000 were killed, and most of the rest of his army was captured, while the Germans only suffered 20,000 casualties. Unable to face the shame of his loss, Samsonov committed suicide.
On the water, the Battle of Jutland was the largest naval base battle of the war, fought in 1916. German commander Reinhard Scheer was unaware that the British fleet could decipher their communications and was aware that the German fleet was moving in the seas north of Germany. During the German fleet further north, the Royal Navy was able to attack the Germans while lowering their chances of a successful withdrawal. Scheer failed to maneuver a retreat at a correct time. Several of the German heavy ships were damaged and few ships destroyed. The Royal Navy suffered more losses than the Germans, but the larger British fleet would ensure naval dominance against the Germans. The battle had no clear victor, and it was a draw between the two.
On the Western Front, the Battle of Somme was an Allied offensive against the German front line in France on July 1, 1916, expected to be an effort comprised of both British and French troops, led by Sir Douglas Haig. The British ended up forming the majority of the manpower for the offensive, as the Germans promised to bleed France white prevented a strong French involvement. The plan was to bombard the German front line for 8 days before advancement. As this was finished, over 750,000 British soldiers began to charge the German front line. As the offense continued on, the deployment of tanks played an important role in the British success in gaining ground. There were 420,000 British casualties and 200,000 French casualties, while the Germans had 500,000 casualties. However, much of the artillery barrage failed to destroy bunkers or barbed wire, and many charges failed to explode, resulting in the German line remaining intact. The first day of the offense lost 58,000 British troops, a number that holds a record today. While Germany's great victories over Russia on the Eastern Front helped eliminate Russia from the war in the end, the Central Powers could not withstand the assault of the combined British, French, and American forces on the Western Front. A subsequent loss caused the Treaty of Versailles, which crippled Germany's military, economic, and social structure, stripped Austria-Hungary and Germany of territory, and fragmented the Ottoman Empire through a separate treaty. The German disdain for the Allied powers and the Treaty of Versailles devastated Germany.